Hey guys, Victoria here, and welcome to the Geeky Sandbox. So today I'm kind of freehanding this because I'm waiting for my new tripod to come in from one of my good friends. It was a birthday gift, so I'm waiting on that to come in, so just bear with me. I was just going to do kind of like a regular audio introduction like I did last time for my American Horror Story episode 4, season 8 apocalypse episode recap. Ooh, that was a mouthful. I decided I wanted to see you, so here we are. But anyways, guys, this episode was amazing. It was crazy. We got even another hint of another season being crossed over or explained within this episode. Honestly, this episode was really more of a filler, but that didn't make it any less more enjoyable. So without further ado, let's go over my top 5 moments. Number 5, Warlocks and Witches. So we get the origin story of Michael Langdon pretty much here. So there's a disagreement between Ariel, who's the chancellor of Hawthorne School for Exceptional Men, and this is pretty much just a school for warlocks. And so Ariel has a disagreement with some of the other people on the council on whether or not Michael is a warlock or whether he actually possesses some kind of demonic presence. And so overall they want him to become an alpha, or the alpha, so he can take out the supreme and warlocks can be on top of the hierarchy. Ariel talks about the effects of Cordelia outing their magic and how it forced them underground, etc., which was actually pretty interesting because I know a lot of us were wondering what happened as a result of Cordelia kind of telling the world that witches exist. And just a sidebar, we also learned exactly who Miss Mead was modeled after as well. She wasn't modeled after Constance like I thought she was, but after a woman who either adopted him or took him in and taught him everything he knows about Satan and dark magic. Number 4, there is malevolence to his magic. Michael Langdon is tested. They're trying to see if he's either a level 1, 2, 3, or 4 when it comes to being a warlock. And number 4 obviously would be the most powerful. And it would actually beat all of the warlocks that are on the council because all of them are only level 3. So Langdon, of course, passes all 4 levels, and he actually nearly kills all 4 men by freezing them to death. 3 or 4 of them are really still wanting him to become the alpha even after all of that, while one of them is still very skeptical of the darkness to his magic. Number 3, we're back with the witches we know and love, and we also get to learn about Mallory's history. So this whole episode takes place 3 months before the blast. And that does kind of bring up a few questions because when we first met Mallory in the beginning of this season, she was Coco's assistant, but also 3 months before the blast, she was also at the school underneath the teachings of Cordelia and some of the other witches. So that's kind of interesting. So I'm really hoping we kind of figure out where she falls in that timeline, or when did she meet Coco and how all of that stuff actually happened. The warlocks over at Hawthorne call the witches over for an emergency meeting of the council. And the fashion here is amazing, guys. Love the fashion. I always love the big hats, the capes and all the stuff that comes with the witches, and just everything about the style here. Anyway, they inform Cordelia about how powerful Michael is, and she just kind of laughs it off. Like, okay, nobody can be as powerful as me. And, ultimately they ask her to administer the test of the 7 wonders to Michael to showcase his abilities, but she immediately refuses and is afraid it'll kill him. And just a sidebar here, Misty Day was mentioned, and Cordelia talks about how she hates that she administered the test of the 7 wonders to her before she was ready. And Queenie is also mentioned, and Cordelia is ridiculed for leaving her behind. I literally screamed at the shade that was thrown at her in this moment. But yeah, a hotel reference was also thrown here. And Cordelia talks about Queenie being trapped in Hotel Cortez and how she went searching for her. I know a lot of people were wondering about that random death scene of Queenie in Hotel Cortez, in season 4 Hotel. And this just about answers every question everyone had about that. Number 2, we find out exactly what happened to Queenie and Madison. As I mentioned beforehand, Cordelia went out of her way to go to Hotel Cortez to try to help Queenie get out because, she was stuck in some kind of purgatory, which happens to everyone while you're at Hotel Cortez. You just can never leave, as you've seen. And even our Supreme Cordelia could not get her out. It was just like an endless loop of them trying to exit out the front door and an endless loop of Queenie playing cards with March, which it was really interesting seeing him back as well. And Cordelia does go on to say that not being able to help Queenie get out of Hotel Cortez was actually one of her greatest failures. And then, you know, Madison is working in sales in her own personal hell, and no one knows her name nor care who she is, really. In number 1, Michael manages to rescue both Queenie and Madison. While the emergency meeting is going on, Michael is actually in the back room drawing up the hotel's location through a vision, and he actually goes and rescues the two. He walks right out of the front doors of the hotel like Cordelia couldn't, and even takes it a step further and grabs Madison out of her own personal hell. Michael returns with Queenie and Madison, shocking Cordelia, shocking us, and Cordelia faints. So like I said earlier, the episode was so good. I mean, most of the time with filler episodes, you just aren't quite sure exactly how well the episode is going to be, because obviously those filler episodes are there to kind of keep the season going and just to kind of give you some background information on certain characters, maybe people we haven't seen in a while. Like example for this, we learned about Queenie, we learned about Madison, and of course we learned about Michael Langdon and his background and what his involvement is with Cordelia. So, but yeah, I feel like it was well done. It was well written. The performances in this episode were really great, and I honestly can't wait to see what happens in the next episode. Anyways, guys, if you like this video, go ahead and give me a like rating down below and leave me a comment. Which part of this episode shocked you the most? I know I asked that last episode, but they just keep amping it up. I think it was the Hotel Cortez reference. I was not expecting that at all. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.